Welcome back, everybody. The Rod Pedersen Show was brought to you in part by CoolBet.com. Claim your welcome bet bonus up to $200 with the promo code RP200 at CoolBet.com. Canadian viewers only. That precludes our man, Jersey Jim Biringer, where we're very big in Jersey on the Game Plus television network. How you doing, Jimbo?
I'm doing well, Rod. How are you?
Good. Listen, I think a great place to start with you, Jersey Jim, by the way, is the man behind NHLRumors.com, NHL Full Press, and he knows his way around college football, too. Our poll question goes back to Friday's trades. Which is the bigger trade in the National Hockey League? Stuart Skinner for Tristan Jarry or the Quinn Hughes trade, the Vancouver Canucks captain to Minnesota for 4 players, 3 players and a pick? What's a bigger trade in your mind?
I think in my mind, I think it's the Quinn Hughes trade because I think that you're getting an elite defenseman, second best defenseman in the league for really good players coming back. I mean, Marco Rossi's no slouch. I know Z Bouilliam's going to be a stud. You can't replace a guy like Quinn Hughes, but however, you're going to get a really good player. I saw him firsthand yesterday. Well, I saw it on TV. I didn't bear the snow to go down to Prudential Center. Too much snow on the ground, too many dangerous conditions. But he's going to be a really good player. And I think it sent shockwaves because, we heard the rumblings that he was going to be available, but no one knew it was going to be that quick. Stu Skinner's name had been out there, right? And I think you and I had talked about it. Probably a change of scenery was going to be best for him because, again, I look at the Stu Skinner thing. If we're saying that internally the noise was going to get to him and then that's when they would have to make the move, I say to myself, then if you thought the noise and the internal pressure and everything surrounding Stuart Skinner was going to be a problem, then why didn't you make this move before the season started and not allow it to get to this point?
Well, it's interesting because you are a pundit, and I listened to all the pundits, and I guess Jari's name had come up, but I mean, I listen to NHL radio a lot, and I think you probably have it in one of your earplugs right now. You listen to it all the time. Those guys were like, "Who are they gonna get?" Right? Bennington's name came up so much, and John. I can't remember. Was John Gibson's name lately? I mean, he's doing great things in Detroit, but how many people really pegged that it was going to be Tristan Jarry going the other way?
I mean, I think his name was out there in the summer because I know Pittsburgh had tried to move on from Jarry and that contract that they signed. Because let's not forget, go back a couple years when he signed that deal, he was gone out the door, right? Jarry's not coming back. He's not going to get signed. They're not going to sign him. Well, Pittsburgh re-signed him and extended him 5 times 7.5. And I'm like, why are we giving him this contract? Like, I don't get this. But they kept him, and they weren't going to retain. And Edmonton, like we talked about it. And when they felt the time was right to make the goaltending change, they were going to do it. They needed to find a better option. I guess they felt Jarry was the best option right now. I always just say to myself, if you really believed in Jarry and you thought this was going to get it done, why didn't you do it earlier? I know Brett Kulak was a sticking point and everything. John Gibson was mentioned in the summer, but again, injury history. Did Stan Bowman and company want to take a risk on a guy that gets hurt a lot? Probably not. Jarry, again, he's shown that he can do it, but he's not done it in the playoffs. And Stuart Skinner, yes, while he's gotten pulled in these playoff runs, he was the goalie in both Western Conference final appearances that outplayed Jake Ottinger to get the Edmonton Oilers to the Stanley Cup final.
I was just saying last hour with Scruffy, the whole legacy of Stuart Skinner and Edmonton, the whole story is just weird. Nobody's fault. It takes you to 2 Stanley Cup finals, but then you got to move them. It's just odd. By the way, Jersey Jim with us from NHLRumors.com and NHL Full Press. What's the last restaurant you went to, and what was the last meal you had? That's the fun little game we're playing, to name your bowl game name. Do you remember?
Oh, wow. Last restaurant I went to. You know what? I think I'm going to go with the Outback Steakhouse Mac and Cheese Bowl. I like that. That's a good name. That's a good name,
sounds
right?
like a real bowl game. Absolutely it does, Jimmy. I love it. We got football questions coming in for you, and we'll get to those in a second. Just with this, one thing we've realized the last few years, and I'm here for it, is that teams don't wait to the NHL trade deadline anymore. Like, that's March, bro. We're not even at Christmas yet, and here's 2 earth-shattering trades. Are we seeing, or are you feeling that this will trigger a bunch of more deals as teams react to this?
I mean, you would think it would, but again, don't forget, holiday trade freeze is this Friday. So if you have laid your groundwork, we can expect that maybe a trade or two. Again, New Jersey tried to clear the cap space to get Quinn Hughes. They didn't. They couldn't get it done. Dougie Hamilton, Andre Palat were not going to Vancouver. Again, they're not waiving their no trade clause, no move clauses. Again, they have every right to do that. But again, the word out of Vancouver was, whether you want to believe it or not, he wasn't going to resign in the summer. Like they said, he told them that in the summer. He told them that last year. So you had time to make the moves, but where do you believe you were? And I think New Jersey, probably with the injuries that they had, didn't want to decimate the roster even more. So they're trying to hold some of those pieces to get a Ryan O'Reilly out of Nashville. And Nashville's playing a lot better now. Steven Stamkos is shooting again. Maybe he's raising his trade stock. The goalie market started to move a little bit, but again, if you didn't lay your groundwork or you didn't shoot your shot like Bill Guerin, maybe we wait. Again, I'm still not sold that we get another trade before Friday, unless, hey, you know what? We have a deal in place before everything went down. Now let's try to get it done before Friday. It's going to be tough, just such a tight window after two big blockbuster trades on Friday. I'm not sure we get one by Friday, but I do expect activity to pick up after the Christmas holiday and heading into the Olympic break.
One last hockey question before we flip to football. I was just not going to get worked up about this Olympic hockey arena situation until I saw the video on the weekend of the arena, and I'm sure you saw it too. It doesn't look anywhere close to being ready to play in now less than 2 months' time. So what are you hearing? What are you thinking on that?
Well, what I'm hearing is it's not good. The AC unit hasn't been tested yet. The condenser hasn't been tested yet. The cooling system hasn't been tested yet. They don't know if the ice is going to be able to sustain. Rod, you've been around rinks like me pretty much your whole life. You know, you have to have the right cooling system to hold 16,000 people in a building all day to make sure the ice is right? Cold buildings. And it doesn't look like it's going to be ready. I feel bad for the women's hockey tournament, because they kick-started their first. February 5th is the first game of the women's hockey tournament, even before the men's ice hockey tournament. That's why I put it out there. I said, I was hearing rumblings that potentially they could back out. I'm not sure they will, but that's always on the table, because if this test event doesn't go well and there's real safety issues, I would not be shocked. And I know the players themselves don't want to back out, but it's a safety thing. But the issue is the league is dead for 2 weeks. So they may have to figure out where they want to play this thing if this rink isn't sustainable and suitable for NHL players, not only the women's hockey tournament as well. I think they're working on contingency plans to figure out to move this event someplace else.
I lied. One more hockey. This came from Jeff, the Stamps fan. He goes, why won't the Flames do something? What do you think they're going to do if they do anything?
I think the name to watch is Rasmus Andersson. I think they have to decide what the best package is for them. They got to get a yes package, right? This is the one thing Craig Buttons talked about. I'm going to steal his line because I liked it. Make me say yes. Make me an offer I can't refuse from the Godfather. That's what the Minnesota Wild did for Quinn Hughes. They basically said, this is our yes offer to you. I think that's what they're waiting on for Rasmus Andersson. Where does he want to sign long term? I think that the agent is playing a little bit involved. The Flames are actually playing a lot better now. This is the Flames team I expected at the beginning of the year. Work hard, grind out games, play well, goaltending starting to pick up. I think that Cooley playing better has pushed Dustin Wolf to play better. And that's a good thing. They're playing their backup more, not relying on Wolf to play every game. You can't do that. You're going to burn the kid out. But they're playing a lot better. And again, Nazem Kadri's name's out there. I don't think they want to do it. And if they do, it's got to be an offer they can't refuse to move him. And I don't think they want to move him right now, because I think it would send a shockwave to players around the league to say, hey, you know what? Nazem Kadri thought he was going to be a solution here, and now they're going to move him. I may not want to sign in Calgary, and I think he wants to be a part of the solution there. I'm not sure Anderson does, and I think that's something that's going to pick up steam after we get out of Christmas.
All the way out in Victoria, BC, Wayne writes in on the Western Dodge text line. He says, I love me some Jersey Jim. I really enjoy his analysis of both hockey and football. He's all right. Yeah. Jersey Jim.
I appreciate the comment. Thank you so much.
On a dime, Ryan from upstate New York writes in and he says, Jersey Jim, what is your opinion on the Jets dismissing defensive coordinator Steve Wilks? It just happened this morning.
I mean, probably it was about time for the Jets, like the Giants, Shane Bowen. I mean, that should have happened when the head coach got fired. I mean, they tried to find a scapegoat in New York for the Giants head coach. I think the Jets need to move on from their defensive coordinator. They're not going to fire the head coach; they just hired him. But the Jets is a complete mess, disaster organizationally. How they picked the head coach, how they went through everything. Aaron Glenn's just done a. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have talent. It's just a mess from top to bottom. Like I said at the beginning of the season when we talked about this, the Jets were better off when Woody Johnson wasn't involved and he was Ambassador Johnson. I'll continue to say it. I think he just needs to let the football people run this team and stop sticking his nose where it doesn't belong.
Which won't happen. But anyways,
No.
Rob in Las Vegas writes in, and I apologize, Rob, because I said I was going to read his comment coming into hour 2, and I didn't, but I will now. A couple. Number one, he says, confirm Micah Parsons torn ACL, which I think we all knew was coming. And he also says NFL owners seem to be softening on the idea of letting John Gruden return to the league. I think the Giants are the most likely landing spot for Gruden. He's certainly making himself visible. I don't think there's any doubt that he's a great coach. But I still think as long as Roger Goodell's the commissioner, he's not coming back. And that's what I hear in within NFL circles, but I may be wrong. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think Gruden would be an excellent coach for the New York Giants, to be honest. I think they need that discipline, that accountability, that style for the players that they have there. Again, I think he had that lawsuit with the NFL that I think is still ongoing. No result right now. So I don't know how good that would be, a good look. But again, they have to make good faith because they kind of pushed him out of the league. And yeah, he's doing fine right now. So I don't know if he even wants to come back. I think what he's doing on his own, he might be more happy. I mean, I think you go to, again, coaches in sports, you're hired to get fired. You could be great one year and then you could be fired the next year. Does he want that circle? He's a great NFL coach. He's a good NFL mind. He could work with quarterbacks. And I think that would be the type of coach, I'm going to be honest, for the Giants, that would put Jackson Dart in line and be like, kid, you need to learn how to take care of your body and slide. He even told him that in his Gruden camp video. If you saw it, he said, dude, you got to learn how to protect yourself. He would be actually a really good coach for the Giants.
I think he'd be a good coach for anybody, but somebody wrote in here earlier, apologize that I forgot, but who it was, but they said, it would be nice if these grown men could get over things. I'm like, yeah, but I've lived it firsthand. It would be nice, but they don't. So, no. I mean, and which, by the way, that's another thing. So how many coaches have been fired in the NFL now? Brian Callahan in Tennessee. Dayball got fired is 2. Has there only been 2?
I think
this year, in season.
2 so far. So far, it's been 2. I believe it's 2.
Right. But with a couple weeks left, there's no point firing anybody now, is there? I mean, now you're in the race for tanking in the draft, and I don't think anybody's going to be fired now the rest of the way. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Glenn.
So.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but you just hired it. But you just hired Aaron Glenn. That means if you fire him after one season, that means he was the wrong choice to begin with, and you did a poor coaching search, and you just picked a former Jet. That's not fair to Aaron Glenn. I know this is the business we live in, but that means you did a poor job finding your coach that you thought was going to be there for a while.
Yeah, people keep thinking they're never going to get it. Screwed up teams make screwed up decisions. You think the Jets are finally going to get it? After all this time, you think they're actually going to finally figure it out? So nothing would surprise them. Which, speaking of Ryan in upstate New York, says, your mouth to God's ears regarding Woody Johnson, Jim. LOL. Thanks for your answer. Yeah, he's suddenly going to go, oh, yeah, the fans are right in the media. I should just back away. Never. That would be almost like asking Jerry Jones. That ain't happening either.
No,
that's not happening.
Not happening. Not happening in Dallas.
Yeah, but, you and I have talked the last time you were on about who would be the next or first coach fired in the NHL. We're now sitting here coming up on Christmas, and nobody's been fired. Last year at this time, there were at least 2 fired. Jim Montgomery in Boston, and the Blues guy, can't remember his name, Drew Callahan or whatever. Do we expect there will be a coach firing in the NHL, do you think, in the next few months?
Again, like everything's so tight, right? In the standings, so much parity throughout the league. I think we kept an eye on Nashville to see what they were going to do. I think if they hadn't turned things around, I could have seen Andrew Burnett gone, and they bring in Pete DeBoer to figure some things out there, right? They want to get younger. I think again, this Trotz want to put Andrew Burnett through the fire and through the war with the media in regards to the firing of the head coach. Trotz has been a head coach, but he's had everything on the table. Again, Calgary's not firing anybody. Ryan Huska just got an extension. Chris Knobloch in Edmonton just got an extension. There were some talks about Jim Hiller potentially being fired in LA. They were meeting with Pete DeBoer. Ken Holland adamantly, denied it. I think the team to watch, and I think the team to look at is Buffalo. We've talked about it. Lindy Ruff's on an expiring deal. There's rumblings about a GM change. Does Jarmo Kekalainen really believe in Lindy Ruff, or does he want to give somebody within the organization a look? That's the situation I'm watching in Buffalo. I think the Buffalo Sabres head coaching position and general manager position is something I'm looking at, because the rest of the league, nobody's moving their head coach. And I don't even know if Adam Foote's going to get fired.
Right. From the account WHL 1986, he writes that he says, don't rule out the Raiders axing Pete Carroll. Well, at this point, what's the point? They already fired Chip Kelly. The season's in the toilet. You might as well wait until the end of the season. Hey, by the way, we only got a couple minutes left, but what's the game of the night in the NHL? There's some doozies. Ottawa, Winnipeg on Prime. Chris Kreider returns to MSG tonight with the Ducks. Or the Battle of Florida, or maybe something I haven't even thought of. Of the 5 tonight, is there one game that sticks out to you?
Yeah, Battle of Florida to me. I think that's the game that sticks out to me. Not to, I've been down in Florida. I've seen the games between these two teams. I look at these teams and I say to myself, the wars that they've had against each other, to me, that's must-watch TV. You want to see what comes next between Tampa and Florida. They don't like each other. This is how playoff rivalries are built. In the playoffs, these rivalry was built in the playoffs. These teams don't like each other. It's going to be emotional for Chris Kreider to return to New York, but I'm putting on Tampa, Florida. That's the game to me I'm watching.
Why is nobody talking about Jacob Trouba coming back, or has he already been back once? I feel like that is just as big a story.
It is a big story, but I think the way he left and the way he didn't leave, I think Ranger fans are not happy. I think they wanted to try to get rid of him sooner, and he didn't move his. Again, has his right to waive it. Didn't waive his no move clause the first time, but I think the way he left leaves a sour taste in people's mouths. The way he kind of bailed on the season and started some stuff in the locker room and caused a mutiny. I think people hold Kreider in a higher standard.
Ah, gotcha. Well, again, it's a good night to be by the tube tonight, watching a lot of great NHL games and a great Monday nighter with the Dolphins at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rob's watching in Las Vegas. He writes in and he says, tanking time for the Raiders. That's the thing. You might as well just keep Pete now. What would be the point of firing Pete Carroll now if you're the Vegas Raiders? And God knows who the next head coach will be. Although I almost feel like I would never be surprised to see Tom Brady with a headset on the sidelines. He's doing everything else. Might as well. Jem, Merry Christmas. I know we will keep in touch, but for the sake of being on the air, Merry Christmas to you and yours, my friend. Thanks for this. It's, as always, a lot of fun.
Always a pleasure, Rod. Thanks for having me on. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. And if I don't see anybody, Happy New Year as well.
Sign up for Substack, everybody. NHL Full Press and NHLRumors.com. That's what Jimmy does for a living, and he does it better than anybody else. Hardest working man in the NHL. We'll be right back. Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.